Hi guys, so I am here today with a Spooktacular TBR, or a list of books to get you in the mood for Halloween. It is just a couple weeks away. It's not my favorite holiday. I really like candy, so I'm pretty okay with it, but I hate dressing up, so in that aspect I'm not okay with it. But yeah, I do like reading scary stories, so I thought I would share some of my favorite ones. I don't own all of the ones that I am necessarily going to list, but I will talk about them a bit. So to start with, I've decided to break this up as based on how you are going to dress up for Halloween. So if you're going to dress up as a vampire, might I recommend The Coldest Girl in Cold Town by Holly Black. Basically, in this world, vampires are commonly known, and if you get infected, you turn cold, which is a virus. It doesn't necessarily make you a vampire, it just makes you kind of crazy and you crave blood, and if you give in to that craving, you will turn into a vampire. So basically, Tana wakes up at a party where everybody's being massacred by vampires. She's not sure if she's cold or not, so she goes to this place called a cold town, which is basically where all the vampires lived in, like, basically vampire ghetto. But yeah, so this is really good. Honorable mention, the Anne Rice series, the Vampire Chronicles, starting with The Vampire Lestat, Interview with the Vampire, Queen of the Damned. I would stop after Queen of the Damned because Tale of the Body Thief kind of, this is when she started to go, you know, hardcore Christian and deviated, especially Memnoch the Devil. Not necessarily her best work, but apparently she's getting back at it. But I do highly recommend Vampire Lestat, Interview with the Vampire, and Queen of the Damned. Those are some of the first vampire books I ever read, and probably my favorite vampire books. But The Coldest Girl in Cold Town is definitely a nice addition to the vampire series. The main character is a far stronger female than Bella Swan, and yeah, I do highly recommend this. Next up, if you're dressing up as a witch, might I recommend Conversion by Catherine Howe. This is kind of a different one. It doesn't really make sense until the end. It takes place two different perspectives. There's a girls' exclusive private school in which girls have been, you know, falling down with this strange illness, and then Salem during the witch trials and the girls who were at the center of the witch trials. So yeah, I do recommend this. I don't really have any other honorable mentions. I don't really read a lot of witchy books other than Harry Potter, so yeah, that's definitely a good one. It's different. I really liked it. Next up, if you're dressing up as a devil, I would recommend The Merciless by Danielle Vega. This deals with an exorcism. The main character, whose name, Brooklyn. No, not Brooklyn. Sophia, there we go. Moves to a new town, isn't really, you know, comfortable being the new girl, but she falls in with this group of girls who seem really nice, are hardcore religious, and are kind of against this girl, Brooklyn, who seems like a deviant and stuff, and they decide to perform an exorcism, and it goes horribly wrong. I think those are the only 3 YA books that I'm recommending, but yeah, this is really messed up. I do highly recommend it. Next up, if you're dressing up as an alien, might I recommend Chalky by John Wyndham. This is basically the story of Matthew. He is 11 years old, and he has an invisible friend, and his parents are kind of concerned because having an invisible friend when you're 11, you seem a bit old for it. But it turns out it's actually an alien from another universe. Great story. John Wyndham, as always, fantastic. If you're dressing up as a sociopath at all, although I don't really know how you would dress up as a sociopath, I would recommend Donna Tartt's The Secret History, or Shirley Jackson's We Have Always Lived in the Castle. Basically, both deal with murder, both deal with intrigue, both deal with not really fully knowing what's going on and feeling like an outsider. Fantastic. Unreliable narrators. Highly recommend both of these. I have read The Goldfinch, also by Donna Tartt. I would definitely recommend The Secret History over The Goldfinch. Next up, if you're dressing like a clown, I would recommend The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. So it's probably one of the least spooky books on this TBR, but it is really good. The imagery that Morgenstern brings out in this is fantastic. I read this last December, so it's been a while since I read it, but I do highly recommend it. Next up, if you're dressing up as a mad scientist, this will come as no surprise to anybody, The Island of Dr Moreau by H.G. Wells. I did a full review of this. I love it. Basically, if you want to be a mad scientist, read this book to get some ideas. It's fantastic. Basically, the main character ends up shipwrecked on an island where the doctor has been performing vivisection on animals and basically turning them into humanoids. But yeah, fantastic. Now, for some books I don't have, if you're going to dress up as a zombie, I would recommend World War Z by Max Brooks. I haven't seen the movie. I've heard terrible things about the movie, and I don't intend to see it. Zombies scare me to death. This book made me sleep with a nightlight after I finished it. It's told in the tradition of the oral history of, I think, World War I or II? I can't remember. It's been ages since I read it, but it was scary, and it talks about how basically the world deals with a full-scale zombie outbreak from the beginning to basically almost recovery, and it's really fantastic. But yeah, so that is my Spooktacular TBR. I hope you guys have a great week. I hope you guys are ready for Halloween. I will basically be handing out candy on Halloween night and maybe seeing my niece and nephew dress up. By the way, got my niece to dress up as like a snowy owl, so I may or may not throw on a witch's hat just to do a Harry Potter picture. Anyways, I will see you guys later. Bye.